The only boys rewatch podcast that asks the big questions. Like, does A-Train make choo-choo noises when he jogs?
My money's on yes.
Who am I again?
You're Mono.
I am Mono. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and with me is my co-host and master of none, Kira.
Yo.
So today we are just going to be chatting about season 2 in general, what we liked, what we didn't like, a couple of things that maybe we didn't get to chat about during the episodes if we ran too long, which was nearly every episode. But overall reaction to the season, Kira?
Oh, phenomenal season. Brilliant follow-up to all the world building that had happened in season 1.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to present this environment. They were able to focus a lot more on character-driven story.
Yeah. Which
is really nice. And it got very convoluted this season, but at the same time distinct.
Yeah, it was never convoluted for the sake of like making things complicated and you know, just adding extra layers. It was all spaced out really well.
Yeah. So for every standalone storyline episode that you got one that where storylines intersected, at least either both groups meshed entirely.
Yeah.
Or there was interactions kind of across the divide, as it were.
Yeah, and we noticed that as we went through the season when we were recording, that some episodes we were talking more ABC storylines, and some episodes we were talking chronologically scene by scene, because to break it down any other way would have been far too difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed this season. But to kick things off, shall we chat about the main...
Well, the main new thing this season would be Stormfront, an entirely new character.
Yeah, well, from the comics. But
yeah, but the only thing she has in relation to the actual original character is...
the name and the Nazi.
Yeah, basically I'm trying to think of a more like candid...
Yeah,
not candid, but like...
Only in name and Nazi is she Stormfront.
Yeah.
No, but I really, really enjoyed the character.
Yes.
Aya did a great job, and I know one of the things she did, or rather didn't do, was she didn't read any of the comics, because Kripke had told her that they were going for kind of an entirely new take on the character.
She is entirely different to how the character is portrayed in the comic books. He's a straight up Nazi. It's barely veiled.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
What she is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, no, so apparently she made the choice that she didn't want to be influenced by Stormfront from the comics.
Yeah, there's that. Well, there's not much there to.
True.
You know, he's very kind of one-dimensional.
But yeah, no, she did a fantastic job, and the character just the whole way throughout the season, from the introduction where she's this anti-establishment. And I said off air, I refer to her as the human equivalent of a Che Guevara t-shirt.
Yeah, she is very much that. Like, she's from Portland, she's edgy, she's live streaming everything to stick it to the man. She's there to be the voice of dissent amongst the 7, to kind of be the relatable character.
Yeah.
You know, she's the one where every, like, disenfranchised youth will be like, oh yeah, Stormfront's my queen, or whatever.
Yeah, she's definitely presented as a counterculture icon, like.
Yeah. She has actual stands.
And her whole agenda as it unfolds across the season is so insidious when we find out she's just using this as a persona to completely manipulate various media narratives and people, and obviously Homelander.
Yeah. Oh, she definitely took lessons from Nazi propaganda and ran with it.
Yeah, and
like that's when you look, when her kind of the big reveal happens that she is a Nazi, and you look at how she's been manipulating everybody around her, and you realize that is very much the Nazi propaganda machine structure.
Yeah, and I like that we got a bit more, well, through her and a little bit from Edgar at the start of the season, we got a bit more history of the company and who Vought was. From Edgar, we find out the more, like...
factual, clean version?
Well, not even clean, because he does talk about how he was a member of the Nazi Party and he worked in the camps, but it's the more scientific aspect of, you know, he created V, and this is what he did with it early on in World War II, and there was Soldier Boy. And then from Stormfront, we get all his like political and cultural views when she talks about the solutions he had and his
white genocide,
his plan for, you know, his new world order,
his army of Superman.
Yeah,
he went a little bit Lex Luthor there with the army of Superman. In fairness,
yeah, and he is more he's definitely presented as a more sinister character than any of the like other versions of like scientist who creates super soldier.
Yeah.
Even in the comics, Vogelbaum is the character who creates V in the 40s in Nazi Germany, and he gets carted out of there before the war.
Yeah, he's not part. Is he part of Operation Paperclip?
No, that's after the war.
Yeah.
No, he gets carted out before the war. Yeah. And helps them create a few super soldiers. And like with Steve Rogers, same thing. The guy is, I think he's supposed to be like a Polish Jew. I'm not 100% sure. But again, gets moved out before. But this is a Nazi who jumps ship at the very end when things are going bad.
Yeah, who took an out and went for it.
Yeah, and the only reason he got it was because of this V that he had that was going to be, you know, such an amazing product.
But there was many pardoned like that, though.
Oh, there was.
So it's nice to see that it's actually more realistic as well, because there were numerous scientists that were given American citizenship and because the work they were doing was so important. It was just a reapplication of it.
That's it. Like with Captain America and even in the Boys comics, it's a more sugar-coated version of, this was a nice guy who was maybe forced to work for the Nazis who then got brought over to the good guys.
This is an
asshole.
This is a full-on member of the inner circle.
Yeah, and
like, he spouts this. He doesn't spout this. He actually passionately believes in this message.
And he didn't get brought over to the good guys because he was a good guy. He got brought over because he was a bad guy, but he was very smart.
Yeah, sometimes it's well, you're better off having him where you can keep an eye on him as well.
Yeah,
because he was not somebody you would really want disappearing into Argentina. No, and after in season 1 when we got Vogelbaum as the scientist who created Homelander as opposed to the scientist who created V, I was wondering, would we get that aspect? So it was nice that we got it in Frederick Vought. Yeah, and to have Stormfront be his wife was kind of the cherry on top as well.
Yeah.
That she also believed in all this propaganda. She believed in what he was doing so much that she allowed him to inject her with it. Because the way she's talking about it, it's not like, oh, he forced me to do it. It is very much this adoration of his work.
A privilege to be the first to try it.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that I wanted to talk about in the Stormfront reveal. I think it was at the end of the Sage Grove episode.
Yeah.
Where she reveals to Homelander all of her Nazi
the wedding
past.
photo. And
that she got the injection as an adult, or at least as a somebody in her late teens,
early 20s,
but still an adult.
Yeah.
Whereas Vought have been injecting babies with V for years, and only with Sage Grove and Homelander and the terrorists, the trials and adults begin again.
Yeah.
So she must have a different
strain,
a different version of it.
It also means that it rewrites their own history, because they very much marketed Soldier Boy as the first superhero.
Yeah.
Where she'd been floating around for like 4 to 5 years prior. But they're not going to acknowledge the fact that the Nazis had a superhero before anybody else.
I think she says she was injected in 1921 or 1922 or something, isn't it?
I don't know.
Or was that when they got married?
That might have been when they got married. Hang on, I'm gonna.
But if she doesn't look much older than early 30s.
No.
I know the actress is actually in her 40s.
Yeah.
But she doesn't look much older than early 30s. So if she stopped aging when she got the injection, she would have been injected. She said she was born in 1900, so she would have been injected somewhere in the 30s. But they weren't going to acknowledge that. But also, Vought wasn't not going to leave his wife behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A, his wife, and B, his first successful superhero.
Yeah.
So yeah, Soldier Boy was the first acknowledged one.
It's just interesting as well that she went on to have a child, and that child had no V characteristics.
Yeah, so we still don't know.
So it still is extremely hit or miss.
Well, we still don't know exactly how Homelander was created. But
we don't know what V does, because it doesn't. If it changed you at a molecular level, you would
pass it on.
Yeah, if it's changed you genetically, you would presume that it would be transferred, but it doesn't seem to behave like that. It's weird.
So yeah, if it's an injection that just enhances.
She was born in 1919.
She was born in 1919.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's where I was getting 21 from, was that she was 21 when she got the injection, which would be 1940.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, she was probably in her 20s when she got the injection, and then her and Fred yeeted out of Nazi Germany.
Yeah, it doesn't give a date for her getting it, but she by 1933 she had joined the National Socialist German Workers' Party, and then presumably somewhere after
at 14.
that. Yeah.
And then married off to Frederick by like 19.
Yeah, probably.
So probably
good Aryan
indoctrinated
stock.
just as much as she wanted to indoctrinate Ryan.
Yeah.
But has lived that indoctrination for the guts of 100 years.
Yeah.
But in terms of the V, it'll be nice to see if we get more Homelander backstory in season 3. Like how he was actually created.
Yeah, no, that would be fun to see. Realistically, anything to do with like how Homelander was created would be interesting, because you've got to wonder, do they have a lab somewhere full of like
Clones.
Failures?
Yeah.
That atypical cliche of the abandoned laboratory with all of them like floating in formaldehyde.
Yeah.
Being all like, nah, save me, father.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if his birth was like, you know, every other superhero got injected when they were a baby, but did he get...
Was he built literally from the ground up?
Was he injected in utero with V, or...
It'd be interesting to see what his actual biological parentage is, because somebody had to donate some stuff along the way there.
Yeah.
And Vogelbaum is enough of an ego to use his own.
No.
Is he a clone of what?
In the comics, Homelander is grown from the ground up from Stormfront's DNA.
Oh yeah.
So that adds a whole other Freudian.
No.
So it's still, well, he had mommy issues.
Oh,
and with Stormfront he had actual mommy issues if it was the same.
Mommy daddy? This is Uncle Daddy?
So yeah, no, if it is like the comics and he was grown from Stormfront's DNA, Stormfront is Homelander's mommy.
Please let him just be body DNA, because I'd actually like to get a good look at the photo to see if he resembles him.
If he resembles Vaughn.
Because oh my god, how funny would that have been if they had just dressed up Anthony Starr? Like put glasses, like did a Clark Kent on him.
Give him an old timey photo. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to try and find a still of that photo now and get a good look at it. Although Googling anything with Stormfront these days is you know.
Yeah, probably not a great idea.
Yeah, at least there's just some questionable fucking sites.
But in terms of Stormfront being a great addition to season 2...
she stirred that pot like nobody's business.
But yeah, in addition to her, with her being a great addition, we lost a great character at the very start of season 2 as well, in Susan Raynor.
Yes. Very sad to see Raynor go.
Yeah, I really wasn't happy about that.
No.
And afterwards, in the last couple of weeks, a thought occurred to me of a way to have like saved Raynor.
What?
Well, I as you know, I was pissed off when they killed her off, and I thought it was unnecessary, and we could have gotten more Raynor. You know, Monkey in the comics.
Yeah.
Monkey in the comics, Monkey is he's basically Raynor's assistant, and he just constantly gets abuse and threats and physical violence from Billy.
The Manuel.
Yeah.
He's Manuel to Raynor's fucking Basil.
Yeah, that's an interesting analogy, but very apt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we could have gotten an episode or two of Monkey.
And Monkey's head could have been exploded.
And then they could have passed off that information to Monkey. And his head could have been exploded. It would have been a nice little Easter egg for the comics to have Monkey there for an episode or two. Raynor gets to stick around.
I don't understand. Once it's revealed that it's Newman who's popping people's heads, what is her motivation to get rid of Raynor? Is it because the CIA had been looking into this and it's now been moved to a House Judiciary that she has control of? Because they never state that Raynor's death isn't really mentioned at all.
After that.
Because obviously you don't want everybody freaking out that a high-ranking member of the CIA was assassinated. It just doesn't seem to... I don't understand where it falls in her agenda. Mind you, I also don't understand her full agenda.
She says she's just kind of figured it out before her head explodes. We know from what Mallory said, she was looking at Liberty and the Stormfront connection.
Yeah.
We know that the information the boys were given to her was about soup terrorists being brought in. So maybe she had discovered something about Sage Grove as well and had put together everything that was going on with Stormfront.
She was just missing that one piece.
And depending on what Newman's agenda is, if she's in bed with Edgar or if she's rogue, she might not have wanted Raynor figuring that out because it could have fucked her game over.
Yeah.
That's what I reckon, was Newman was just trying to protect her own agenda and didn't want Raynor getting too close to that.
Yeah, but you would stand to reason then that Raynor's replacement would look into the case she was currently investigating.
Well, that's what Mallory seemed to be doing, because that's why Mallory passes off the Liberty stuff to...
Yeah, Mallory seems to have taken up the reins on that.
Yeah, and...
So she hasn't really... So she's maybe bought herself a little bit of time.
And Raynor has literally only just figured out with that bit of information the boys have given them. So depending on where she was like... Because Mallory says the name was all over the hard drive.
Yeah.
But the implication being that she couldn't either get at everything that was on the hard drive, or it was only the name that was on the hard drive. So Raynor was obviously playing her cards pretty close to her chest and keeping that info hidden away, so maybe people couldn't get at it.
Yeah, well, if she was in the Mallory files, which have already been stated are like political and career death for anybody to go near.
Yeah, she probably would have been keeping her work and her investigation on the DL
until she
in
had
the department.
actual...
Yeah. But yeah, that's my Raynor rant over.
You were so annoyed about that.
They made her such a fun character and so much better than the comics.
Yeah.
And then they just fucking killed her off. Apparently Raynor rant's not over. But yeah, because they've made so many improvements from the comics.
Yeah.
And especially with the female characters.
Can I just say that, like, actually every character has a full, well-rounded personality. As much as I adore the comic book, they don't. They're very, very one-dimensional. So they have
more time to delve into it in the show.
Yeah, but for such a huge ensemble cast, for them all to be so well-rounded and fully realised is a feat unto itself.
Yeah, and particularly with the female characters, the ones that they gender swapped and the ones that are female in the comics are so much better than the comics.
Oh god, yeah.
And the Raynor in particular in the comics is just a bit meh. And it's so good in the show that when they killed her off, I was like, no, come on, really? Why'd you do that?
Yeah, but
That's
we just swapped siblings. We may have lost Raynor, but we got more Stan.
We did get more Stan, and Stan was brilliant in this.
So it was like, I don't think you can have both of them on the same show, because then the show will just grow and eat everything with the power.
Too much talent in one room.
Yeah, like it'll either it's that ego monster thing from Futurama.
Yeah, and Stan Edgar is fantastic.
Oh, he's so good.
He is. I think I may have mentioned it back in one of the season 1 episodes, that Stillwell is a character from the comics that they've gender flipped, but the way they present Stan Edgar is very much how Stillwell is in the comics.
Yeah.
He's this very stoic, calm presence, never feels threatened or afraid of Homelander, is all about business and nothing but, as we see in the last episode of the season with his meeting with Butcher.
He's CFO.
Yeah, if you watch Metalocalypse, he's basically he's Charles Foster Offenson.
Or if you want a really nerdy one, he's Giles. He's like early years Giles when he's all about the rules. Yeah,
but yeah, he's all about the business, and I like that. Not that I didn't like Stillwell in season 1, but I like that we got this like person.
Corporates. Fucking like drone almost.
Not even drone. He's just like the corporate America, the corporate world personified.
Yeah.
Into him. And he's kind of the only real straight bad guy in the season. And he's not even bad, he's just a ruthless corporate asshole. Because there's nobody else, especially in this season.
It's all business.
And obviously Stormfront being the Nazi.
Yeah.
But apart from Stormfront and Stan's business badness, none of the rest of the 7 this season are bad guys.
No, they're all having their own struggles.
Like Maeve.
Poor Maeve just is in a fucking tailspin.
But Maeve is basically one of the good guys now.
Yeah.
Annie obviously is one of the good guys. A-Train is...
looking out for A-Train and
he's
doing
looking
his
out,
thing.
Exactly. A-Train's looking out for A-Train.
A-Train is so fun this season.
Oh, he's
because
great.
he's such a fucking dick in season 1, and I don't know about anybody else, but when he had that heart attack, a little bit of me was like, yeah, fuck you.
He's a bit one note as a character in season 1. It's just about the junkie and the staying on the 7 and being the fucker. So he's 2 note in season 1.
It's kind of like when he has the heart attack, you're like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But this season he's actually enjoyable from the very get-go when he shows up and he's fucking with the girls.
Yeah, he's not willing to drop Annie in it straight away. He wants to play the long game. And then there's the couple of really fun bits about like when he sees Shockwave and asks what he's doing there. And he's, shit, I love fat kids. Put me on that.
Yeah. Then when he starts going to, when Deep introduces him into the church and he's like, ugh.
Oh, when he brings Deep the goldfish
Oh.
to apologise for all the times that he sabotaged the Deep. He brings him the goldfish and Deep's like, oh, you taught it my name.
But he's fun and he's a lot more human this season.
Yeah.
He's dropped a lot of the brash persona.
And he's still as selfish as he was, but there is more nuance there.
Yeah.
And he's looking out for number one. So I think going forward, as long as the boys don't target him,
I don't
he'll
think they
kind
will
of turn
either,
a blind eye.
In fairness, he threw them the biggest bone they've ever got.
Yeah, I think
with that file.
I think the boys, when it comes to the boys in A-Train in season 3, it'll be you don't come near me, I won't come near you.
Yeah, we won't fuck with each other, but you know.
Apart from when he threatens to like out Annie for everything she's done at the start of the season, he doesn't do anything else antagonistic for the whole rest of the season.
No.
It's just about trying to stay in the 7 and then trying to get back in the 7.
Yeah, and also his arrival in the back of the car when they're driving through the city.
Oh, my favourite bit.
Sup, shitbirds?
My favourite.
And the screaming and the pulling over.
But in terms of my previous point about how there's no real bad guys. He's not a bad guy. Maeve's not a bad guy. Homelander, we do start to see kind of a tenderness between him and Ryan towards the end of the season.
He's still doing bad things.
Oh yeah, he's still.
But he has no he's sorry. We've been watching a lot of Supernatural lately. He's soulless Jack. He has no moral compass.
Yeah, he really doesn't. And there was an article out yesterday about how Kripke says that's why Homelander would beat Superman.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with this.
Neither do I. But Kripke says it's because Homelander has no morals.
Yeah, but Superman at the end of the day will do what needs to be done to take down a target as volatile as Homelander.
Let's not get into that argument.
No,
that
but
could be a whole other thing.
That's my theory on that. Is Superman will do what needs to be done because it's been proved. Well, we don't know that Homelander can't exist can't breathe outside the atmosphere. Yeah. So he's just got to fly him straight up. That's it. But jump them.
Yeah. But even Homelander, the main bad guy, is humanized that bit more in the season when we see him destabilize at the start of the season. Because
that destabilization is just beautiful. And his paranoia when he shows up with Newman. Yeah. And when he has that vision of just lasering the shit out of the crowd.
Yeah. But Black Noir, I suppose, isn't... Well, Black
Noir's Black Noir. He's not good or evil. He's just there.
Yeah, he's just there and he does what he's told.
Yeah. I'm sorry also that whole he might have brain damage, but apparently it's hard to tell. That's all you need to know about Black Noir. He does as what he's told.
But yeah, it'll make for really interesting watching going into season 3 as well, because Maeve has now blackmailed Homelander. Yeah. Homelander publicly outed Annie as being a mole, and that he did walk it back, obviously.
Yeah, but that's out there.
But he had to have gotten permission for that, I'm guessing. When he made that announcement about Annie being a mole, Stan either knew why or didn't know why and wanted to find out. Yeah. So come the end of the season, Annie's back on the 7 and Maeve's back on the 7. Homelander knows what Maeve's done. Yeah. Black Noir, when he wakes up, knows that Maeve attacked him to rescue Annie. Yeah. A-Train knows that Annie released the stuff about the V. Yeah. And was the one who released the Stormfront thing and knows she's working with the boys. Maeve knows she's working with the boys. Homelander knows she's working with the boys. So, and I'm wondering how much does Stan know of this and what way
I don't think
the power dynamics will play in season 3.
Stan knows everything that's going on, and I wonder whether or not Stan is nudging shit in certain directions.
Yeah, because he
to try and counter Stan is fully aware of who Butcher is, of the fact that he's aware of these past events. He can't not be. He's aware of who Mallory is. He knows all the stuff about the Church of the Collective. Yeah. I don't think he would be the type of person who would allow events to continue the way they are without being informed of upcoming occurrences.
Yeah. And I know some of the things we're saying today would be covered in and maybe possibly contradicted by some of the VOT News Network segments.
Yeah.
But we're going to wait until they all come out before we cover them and talk about what they might mean for season 3.
They also seem to be covering quite a large stretch of time from what we've seen so far of them.
Yeah, so I don't... We're just today talking about from the end of season 2 what we think might happen in season 3.
Yeah.
But yeah, that will be really interesting to see what way the 7 dynamics play out and what Stan knows or doesn't know, and whether or not we'll find out what he's up to. Well, from the VOT News Network, I see, from Hughie getting the job at Newman. And that's the other thing, is Newman.
Yeah.
She now is the straight, for the minute anyway, because we don't know what her motivations are, she's the nearest thing to a straight big bad.
Yeah.
She's not really been humanised, or any humanising we did see for her was presumably a lie.
Well, it was just her and her daughter.
Yeah, she makes the comment about, my dad always said, when there's smoke, there's fire. And I was wondering, do you think Edgar could be your dad?
I don't. No.
He's watching her on TV an awful lot throughout the season.
Yeah.
Now, that could just be as a hint towards her being revealed at the end.
Yeah.
But it was just a random thought that occurred to me one day. I was like, I wonder, or is she, at least if not a daughter, I wonder, is she in bed with Edgar in terms of her plans and her agenda?
Yeah, no, because
that's the big question for me, is whether or not she's with Vaughn, or is she rogue. Are they setting
her up to be a Vic the V, but the actual
Vic the V, but with intelligence.
I've forgotten who the president is.
The president is Bobby Singer.
Yeah.
He's Bob Schaefer in the comics, but he's Dakota Bob, and that's Bobby Singer in the show.
Yeah.
And he might end up being the president, it looks like, from one of the things in the VOT News Network segments.
Yeah.
But are they setting her up as a Vic the Veep type character, where she's working for VOT and with VOT?
And is working her way higher up it. And what's the best way of removing suspicion from yourself, as by working actively against the thing that you are? And
as the head of the Superhuman Affairs Department, or whatever it's called, she can control the government response to what VOT are doing.
But she's also funding Mallory, so she has a finger in that pie too. So she's seeing what the boys are doing, and they're
she gets to see the black book side too.
So can she start manipulating them into taking out opponents or people who are going to be dangerous towards her agenda? Because that'll be fun to see.
And Hughie coming to work for her is like a present falling right into her lap. Because one of the things she does ask him is, have you told them yet that you're leaving?
Yeah.
And he says, no, not yet. And she smiles. And I think she's going to try and she's going to convince him to maybe stay working with them, or at least stay in contact with them. And she's going to totally pump him for information.
Yeah.
But as to her end goal and her agenda, don't know. And do want to know whether or not she's rogue or is working with VOT.
Yeah. No, I would like to see more of the Soups that escape from Sage Grove, in particular Cindy.
Well, we're definitely going to get Cindy, we know that.
Because I really do think she's Silver Kincaid. And if they use her backstory from the comic book, that will be fun, because she was stolen as a child. And I would like to see... I just want to see a revenge rampage by somebody. I would like to see her go and hunt down whoever it is who took her, and if it turns out to be Vought, I would like to see her doing a full-on Die Hard through Vought Tower in the vents.
I think that we will get Cindy, but I don't know, maybe that the boys will be sent to take her down or something like that. Yeah, I think it's going to end up either being something like that, or they're going to end up working with her. Yeah. She seems a bit psycho for them to work with, though. Yeah, but she had been locked up for how long and experimented on? I think she's just going to be kind of a very powerful wild card in season 3. Yeah. That's what I think Cindy will be. But we're definitely going to get more of her. And it should be fun. Yeah. We're going to get a whole host more superheroes. Yeah, where there's a lot more being introduced for the next season. Yeah. Which is fun. I'm quite enjoying, because we've been steadily losing Soups. Yeah. Yeah, we've been losing them kind of fast. And we did get quite a few, tertiary characters. We got our Gecko, and we got Eagle the Archer, and we saw Blind Spot. Poor Blind Spot. We probably saw a few others in in season 1. We had your Ezekiel's and your Pop Claws. Yeah. And so they're going to continue doing that, and I like, because that helps add to the world. And once we get more Black Noir. Yeah, all the Black Noir. I always want more Black Noir. Backstory would be nice for him. Not even backstory, but just some more kind of information. Apart from the fact that he can play the piano, he's obsessed with Japanese tea rituals. But especially after we saw him crying over the V reveal. I don't know, that's still right in the feels. That one hurt. The rest of him being upset and angry about the reveal was understandable. Him crying? I don't know what it was about him crying, but
but that hurt.
Plus, apart from Kimiko,
Yeah.
Black Noir is the only soup who seems to have any kind of training.
Oh, who isn't like a straight up brawler or just uses
their powers.
Yeah.
Like any... And
like we did
know
see
Kimiko,
Annie train.
Well, we saw Annie train, yeah, but I mean like actual like martial arts training or like how to use your powers, X-Men Danger Room style scenarios. Oh, and Blind Spot, obviously.
Yeah.
At the start of the season as well. But apart from them, yeah, everybody else just seems to just use their powers. Like with the girls fighting at the end of the season.
Oh, that's just a straight up brawl.
Yeah, that's a straight up brawl. Homelander just uses his lasers all the time.
That's because he's lazy.
Unless he wants to punch through somebody. So it all seems to be brute force with the soups.
Yeah.
Same with A-Train.
Yeah, there's no finesse.
The female, yeah, there's no finesse, there's no training. So it'd be interesting to see how Soldier Boy fights.
Yeah,
because he is
a soldier.
A soldier.
Yeah.
well, not from the comics, but what it looks like we're going to get from Jensen Ackles' Soldier Boy.
Is a Captain Roger or Captain America style backstory, maybe without him being in the...
What, Frozen in Ice?
No, the USO shows.
No, oh God, no, it's Vought. You know he was in the USO shows.
But that sort of thing where he actually went through military training, knows the tactics, and then it has been enhanced.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if we get more kind of soups with training.
I don't care, it's Jensen Ackles, so.
Yeah, and I just want and more Black Noir, please.
Yeah.
Always more Black Noir.
I'm excited to see Jensen Ackles in pretty much anything. The fact that he gets to play a superhero is the closest thing I'm probably going to get to him being like a live action Jason Todd.
Yeah.
So, yeah, delighted.
I wonder as well how much, if any, Ryan will we get in season 3?
Like, will there be, like, kind of dial-ins with him to see...
Yeah, I reckon there'll definitely be at least 1 or 2 check-ins, or, like, you know, Mallory will give us an update on what he's up to.
Yeah.
We might see him, but I have a feeling they're going to actually hold him back for season 4 or 5, because I think he is stronger than Homelander.
Yeah, it's a possibility, or at the very least, you know, he's gonna need they're probably gonna hold him back and give him some time for the character to kind of mature, because how old is he supposed to be?
Well, he should only be 8 years old. As to how he ages, we don't know.
Yeah.
If there's any change into how he ages or anything like that.
Like,
we also don't know how old Homelander is,
I'd
like to point out. Because when we see the flashbacks to him as a kid, Vogelbaum looks the same. Now, I know it's just because they fit the actor film, but we don't know how long Homelander's been around. How long has he been in the 7? How long has he been, you know, in public?
Well, he's been in the 7 since the start.
But I think he's definitely stronger than Homelander, because Homelander could only laser Stormfront's titties and leave a bit of a scar. Ryan annihilated Stormfront.
Yeah.
And Kripke has said in interviews that Ryan is stronger than Homelander.
Yeah.
So I think they might play the long game with Ryan.
What was he, a concentrated version of it?
Maybe. But yeah, I think they'll play the long game.
All those years of Stillwell fucking jazzing them up.
Or all those years of Stillwell fucking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think they might play the long game with Ryan for season 3, and that we won't see an awful lot of him.
In fairness, that I'm not too annoyed by that, because he was kind of an annoying kid.
Good actor.
Good actor. I just found that the way Ryan is just kind of annoying, because a lot of the time he didn't react the way I felt a child should, like when he's just standing there screaming. Like for a lot of times when he
Rebecca gets killed.
No, but for a lot of the time his go-to move was just to kind of stand there, and it's like, no,
throw a tantrum, like.
Yeah, at least, you know, the only bit, like, you know, he just seems very kind of emotionless.
I don't know.
Like, not very, yeah.
I don't know. I thought he was a decent little actor.
Oh no, like I'm not.
The character,
it's the character. I was like, I just felt like the way the character was written it was confusing at times, because he would be really animated when talking about things he liked, but then when he got angry or upset, he just kind of stood there.
Yeah, I think maybe they were trying not to give too much away with him in terms of whether he was a really good kid. You know, they didn't want to portray him as like super good or have him, you know, quickly fall under Homelander's influence, because it is supposed to be, will he go the way of Homelander, or will Becca's influence be good and make him a good superhero?
What, he just stalls?
Well, yeah. No, they don't want to give him too much characterization very early on, so that you can obviously be like, oh yeah, that's clearly he's going to grow up to be a good guy, or he's going to grow up to be a bad guy. Maybe it's a bit of that. Maybe it's bad writing. I don't know. I don't know. Let's say I didn't have that much of a problem with it. But in fairness, he's not in a huge amount of the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, is an important part of the season, but
Yeah.
doesn't get a huge amount of screen time. So, it will be interesting to see what way it plays out, whether we'll get more of him. We should definitely get more emotion from him now, anyway.
Yeah.
With a dead mom and a psycho dad. It'll be interesting to see if we find out where they've kept him as well.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see a check-in with him just to see kind of what's going on.
Are they trying to stay the Becca route of nurture, or do they have him in a cell somewhere?
Yeah, are they just doing the full-on CIA thing?
Yeah. And speaking of Mallory and the CIA, it'll be interesting if we get more. I'm assuming we're going to continue to get Mallory.
Yeah, well, if she stated at the end there that she'd been offered...
Yeah, off the books funding to watch.
For a group, for like the boys essentially.
Yeah, so it sounds like she's back in.
Yeah, she's definitely back in doing that, whether or not we just see her as a kind of, a check-in and give them orders type character, or if we actually get to see her going off and doing some of her own thing.
I reckon the first episode...
Or if we're going to get her backstory.
The first episode of season 3 is called Payback. And I reckon
Stormfront used to lead Payback.
In the comic, Stormfront led Payback, but in the show, it's going to be Soldier Boy's team from like the 70s with Crimson Countess and a few others. I think in the first episode, what we might get is no boys at all.
And Mallory in the 70s investigating it?
Yeah, maybe a flashback episode with Mallory, and we get some, because we've been told we're going to get the history of Vought in like the 60s and the 70s. Yeah. Kripke said that's what season 3 is going to cover. Or some of it anyway. So I think, the first episode might be set in the 70s and it might be Mallory's backstory.
I would love to see 70s Mallory.
Yeah, or there'll be some problem that Mallory's trying to sort out in the first episode. And in the second episode, it'll be Mallory going around and recruiting the boys to try and put the band back together. I think. I
would like for Mallory to have some sort of Nemesis style status with Soldier Boy.
That would be cool.
I think that would be fun. That would be really cool. Like the one that got away and that has re-emerged now, and she has this unshakable like rage or drive. That Soldier Boy is to Mallory as Homelander is to Butcher. Yeah. I think that would be a fun take on it.
It could fit because comics Mallory has his problem with Vought because his platoon in World War II gets taken out because he gets assigned a soup squad to work with him and they basically fuck up the whole thing.
Big surprise there.
Yeah, everybody dies and that's his first introduction to superheroes.
Yeah.
And then he sees them again in the 50s being rebranded as like urban crime fighters in the city stopping crime and just decides to keep an eye on them. So I wonder will Soldier Boy be the same thing? And it's one of the versions of Soldier Boy in the comics that Mallory gets assigned to work with.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see if Mallory's in like Vietnam or something and Soldier Boy comes to work with her and fucks up something.
No, I reckon Mallory would have been in intelligence.
Yeah.
And whether or not it was like assigned to them or
is Mallory
looking into their maybe looking into the actions of Soldier Boy fought like post-war.
Or if Mallory CIA, was she off on some Black Ops mission and was Soldier Boy on a Black Ops mission with them?
Yeah, like there's numerous
and that's why she's so against Vought being in the military because she's seen it before.
There's some sort of I'm just hoping that there's some sort of personal history going on there.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we get some Mallory backstory because we don't, apart from the grandkids, and that's why she left the boys.
Yeah,
we don't know why she started the boys.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to get that. And it'll be nice if we get some backstory too.
I would love to see some backstory. I really, really hope they don't use the backstory from the comic books because it's just heartbreaking.
I have a theory that they will.
But because he's already delved into kind of some of the story of his dad,
which is very close to the comics.
It is very close to it. I just really don't want them to use the full story of his brother because I don't think I could actually physically take it.
I think they'll use a slightly altered version. I think what will happen...
It's literally because that story, the comic book story, is, to me, it is one of the most heartbreaking stories.
Oh, it is.
In it, and I can't.
Well, cover your ears because I'm about to recap it for the listeners.
No, it's okay.
Because in the comics, his mom she works in a factory that deals with V products, and she gets...
V is in the wild.
Yeah, it's in the wild.
In the comic book, so...
But she specifically works in a factory that packages it and
she's basically a radium girl.
Yeah, but she gets exposed to it, and MM and MM's brother both have superpowers effectively from it. MM's is that he gets super strong, but he has to constantly drink his mother's milk for the rest of his life.
Or he'll
shrivel up. And the brother ends up dying because of his superpower, which is just kind of an uncontrolled growth.
His brother also suffers from a number of disabilities and side effects due to the V.
That's right. Yeah, he's requires a lot of like special medical care, and
the V
has learning difficulties.
Yeah, brought on by
side effects from the V.
Yeah,
and I don't think they'll go that far. But with him, I think the reason that the problem his dad had with Vought in the comics is what happened to his son.
Yeah.
And he tries to take them on legally, and he ends up having the heart attack and dying at the typewriter, like in the show.
Yeah.
I think what MM's backstory will be similar, that his brother will have been born very sick or premature or something like that. Vought will swoop in and have offered an early version of V. MM's old enough that he probably was born around the 70s. So I think maybe Vought came to MM's dad and mom and said, hey, look, we can give your kid an injection and make him a superhero, but something went wrong.
Yeah.
And the child died. And that's where MM's dad got his crusade against Vought, and that's why MM also has the crusade against Vought. We know he's a military man.
Yeah. In
the comics, he's a military man as well, and he ends up accidentally killing somebody and gets locked up, and that's when he gets recruited.
Well, that's how he discovers his...
That's how he discovers his powers, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we'll probably get something similar.
Yeah.
In season 3. Well, maybe not. We might not get it in season 3, but if we do get MM backstory, I think that's what it'll be. Vought will have fucked over his family and have killed his younger brother, and while he's in the army, for some reason, he'll have done something, maybe not followed an order because it was the wrong thing to do, get banged up. Mallory will come and recruit him.
Yeah.
That's my prediction anyway.
Well, we've already seen how they recruited Frenchie, but I would love to see some snippets of Frenchie's backstory.
Yeah, more Frenchie backstory would be nice. I think...
The only story I want to see is the baguette dueling.
The baguette jousting.
With the croissant. That's all I want to see, and I'll be happy with anything after that.
I'd like to see some, Frenchie's adventures in soup attacks. Like Mallory talks about...
a montage of his greatest hits.
Yeah, it would be awesome.
Oh yeah, but she's talking about how he's weaponized various things.
He weaponized Xanax to take down that rage soup. Yeah. She says he took down Malchemical and Cold Snap.
Yeah, I'd love to know how he took out Malchemical because
in the comics it's just with a cheap Bic lighter.
Yeah, he sets him on fire.
And obviously he blew Translucent up with an ass bomb.
Yeah.
I'd like to know what else Frenchie's been up to.
Apart from taking all the drugs.
I don't think we'll get any more female backstory because I think that's...
Yeah, well, that was very much a big part of season 1 was identifying this mystery girl, and now she can communicate as well with Frenchie. So
I think it'll more be about females' growth going forward than anything that happened in her past. Because apart from just showing us individually shitty things that happened when she was a child soldier, there's not much else they can do with it.
No.
And I'd much prefer to see her growth and her relationship with Frenchie grow. Because how they developed that this season was quite fun as well. Yeah. The breakdown and then the reforging.
The ring.
Her bossy ring. Oh yeah, it's then the same.
When you start to get that,
you start female.
to see her personality coming out, and that she's fun and she's willing to take the piss out of him, and
we get some noise. She laughs because at the end of season 1 she tries to, and you just get the kind of raspy breath. But this time we got actual laughter.
But you start to see a lot more of this fun, vivacious personality coming out in this season. And she does go through a lot. She finds her brother and you get that elation and then it all goes wrong. And there's that depression where she's taking on hits for the Albanians.
That was one of the best comedy. No, her taking out the Albanians was one of the... Sorry, not the Albanians, but doing the hits for the Albanians. Yeah. That was one of the best comics Easter eggs of the whole show so far. Her ripping off faces. It was brilliant.
And then the resulting Frenchie meltdown in the church.
Oh yeah, that was heartbreaking.
To her coming back and him being like, oh, this is what you buy for your money, this ring. And she just...
The female sass was one of my highlights of the season.
Yeah.
A-Train Shitbirds was one of my highlights of the season.
Ashley's hair loss,
that was fun.
And everybody eating her paella.
That was great. The Dawn of the Seven stuff was fantastic.
Oh, just everything to do with that movie was so... That whole fucking...
Oh, the press junkets.
Not the press junkets, but the whole Maeve, proud...
Oh, that goes.
Proud speech. It's so cringy. The girls get it done promo shit.
Yeah, the girls get it done moment itself. That was just a beautiful shot at Marvel.
Get it done, yeah. Where the three boys just stood there being completely fucking useless.
Oh, well, no, but the setup for that being in the Dawn of the Seven, where it's exactly like Endgame and really cheesy.
Yeah.
And then the payoff at the end of the season where, no, look, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
You have three girls.
Like, literally curb stomping.
Yeah. While the guys are absolutely useless and ineffective.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was another highlight of the season, is Stormfront getting the shit kicked out of her at the end of it. Any other highlights?
The Deep has been on one hell of a roller coaster this year. Can I just put his little face? Oh, when he thinks his head's going to blow up. And he's like frantically checking it. When the big thing about Eagle the Archer, like being a toxic personality, and the way he flip-flops.
We were wrong. I was at least. In the episode where he is chucked out of the church and they say it's because his partner, or there's a video of him and his partner doing their weird hunting sex thing. We assumed it was like romantic partner. It's his sidekick.
Oh!
In the Vought News Network segments, that's one of the things they mentioned.
Because I was just like, hey, buddy, like whatever you want to do in the bedroom, as long as
we were like two consenting adults, and
like that's cool as long as you're not like eating them afterwards, and obviously not eating them.
Yeah, so no, it's supposed to be Eagle the Archer and his sidekick.
Oh,
I assume I would hope at least still consensual. Like they haven't said anything about it, but yeah, it's his sidekick rather than a romantic partner.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
But yeah,
like,
the Deep this
consensual
season
and all like above board. But the Deep this season is so sweet. Like from his breakdown at the very start, where he's crying in that water park.
Oh, the breakdown to start, the Mariana Trench stuff, and the water's not supposed to be fun.
When he's in the water park up the thing, like screaming and
when Carol and Eagle are inducting him into the cult, and he really doesn't know what's going on,
and he keeps trying to leave, and every time he tries to leave, I'm like, yeah, that's it, you fucking tell him, because he's like, you're fucking shit stupid. To then they marry him off.
When he thinks he's gonna get to pick the sexy breathy lady.
Yeah,
it's her, right? Yeah, she's the one I'm picking. No, you're gonna pick Cassandra, but I thought it was my choice.
Yeah, it is your choice, Deep. And he's kind of like, oh, and you can, like, he does question it, but he's going along with it because they keep dangling the golden card of getting him back in the Seven.
Yeah.
To him getting fucked over then because they take
A-Train back.
Because they take A-Train back, and that breakdown is hilarious when he's like, "You made me marry somebody who gives terrible blowjobs, and I signed over my bank account to you." My
favourite line in that rant is the one about I didn't even laugh when you told me we all came from space spores.
Yeah. I think he's so naive.
I think that the Deep is never going to get back into the Seven.
No, but he's going to keep trying. God bless his little cotton socks. He's going to try his hardest.
He might get back into the Seven, but I don't think he's ever going to get back involved in the main protagonist-antagonist storyline of the show. Not in any proper way, I don't think. He is the comic relief. He is the fun idiot to follow. To me, anyway. I can't see him. I don't think it would be as fun if they did try and put him back in kind of a villain role or even a hero role.
The misadventures of the Deep are just pure comedy.
Yeah, I want to see more of him like stealing dolphins and getting lobsters killed.
Oh, that poor lobster!
and let's show us Deep doing it in the blowhole. Like, just give us it all. But the soup porn as well.
I did feel bad for him at the end there when he was when he found out he wasn't going to get back in.
But compared to last season, like there's a lot of kind of repeating beats between the season 1 closer and the season 2 closer that I've noticed. In terms of, I think we talked about like when Annie comes to ask Maeve for help, Maeve's response is like Annie's response to Huey in season 1.
Yeah, which is how dare you, and I've done all this stuff for you, and you still come to ask me?
When the Deep finds out at the end of season 1 that he's not getting back into the Seven, he has his Everybody Hurts breakdown where he shaves his head and talks about how fucking stupid he is in the mirror.
Yeah, well, he shaves everything.
This time he finds out he's not getting back in the Seven, and his response is of anger. It's not at blaming itself. He's not blaming himself because this time it's not his fault. He did everything he thought he was supposed to do.
And Fresca sucks.
And Fresca sucks, and Fresca fucked him over.
Yeah.
And he's angry this time.
Yeah.
And I think maybe...
He's angry outwardly as opposed to inwardly.
Yeah, and I think maybe this time he thinks that he has to just do it himself.
Yeah.
And get himself back on the 7.
Oh,
but
no.
it's a different response to the end of season 1. But yeah, no, the Deep's still one of my favourite characters.
Right,
in the show.
and this time as well, A-Train's on the way up, whereas last season he was having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Homelander was jacking it over the city.
I'm really interested to see where they go with Homelander.
I can't work out if
3.
he's on an upswing or a downswing.
Not taking into account anything from the Vought News Network stuff, just where he is at the end of the season, jacking off over the city. He is so unbalanced.
Yeah, no, he's a scary, scary person by the end of this season.
All the
everything
stuff
from him, like, I don't want to know what he did to that cabin to be covered in that much blood.
Oh, he danced on them until they were a paste. I told you this.
I know, but from his mental state in that, from thinking that Vought were actively trying to take Ryan away from him to
Ryan,
he
knows. Oh, that's
to Ryan rejecting him by going to stand behind Butcher.
That's the other thing as well. I was talking earlier about the kind of the status quo and the power dynamics of season 3. Yeah, Homelander knows that Stan tried to take the kid away from him.
Yeah.
So there's that thrown into the mix as well.
Yeah, like, so you've got him looking at the only thing he really knows, which is Vought.
Yeah.
Now, we did get that whole heavy-handed, he has the whole
the
adoration.
chant thing,
yeah.
yeah.
Homelander!
But
what was that South Park chant where it's like, make love to me, Randy? I really, really want somebody to dub that Homelander chant over with that whole, you saved us, Randy.
You saved us, Randy. Make love to me, Randy. But as well, his only kind of, his last pillar, or even the one that he kind of taught, of Maeve.
Yeah,
because after Ryan pushed him over, the first one he ran back to was Maeve, and he gave it the, oh, you're the one I've known the longest, and this, that, and the other. She's just totally flipped it on him now.
Yeah.
And has blackmailed him and has threatened to ruin everything and made him choose between his son and the love of the world.
Yeah. And at the end of it all, the love of the world is the only constant he's actually known.
Exactly. It's the only love he's known.
Yeah, it's this adoration. So when his points, like, you've seen him be more upset about his popularity rating dropping.
Yeah.
Than Ryan being upset with him or running away from him.
Yeah, well, we did see
there was some growth.
When Ryan's upset and after the Stormfront reveal, he stays with Ryan.
His growth
Yeah.
in this show mirrors Billy's growth. They both take the same kind of big leaps around the same time.
Yeah, only the only difference being that at the end, Homelander chooses the bad path. Well, I mean, he is kind of forced into it, but Homelander chooses the love of the world over the love of his son.
Yeah.
Billy chooses the love of his wife and the wishes of his wife over his own revenge and his own wants and needs.
They have grown, just in different directions.
Well, yeah, they
but there was growth.
Well, there was growth, but Homelander rolled it back, whereas Billy's growth was committed to.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. Because as we talked about last week, we were both really worried about whether or not Billy was going to follow through on his plan with Stan.
Oh.
And yeah, he comes clean with Becca.
Yeah, because that moment where he's so upset when she dies and he reaches for that crowbar and he turns around and the look on his face is just rage and you don't know would he have taken the swing. I think he would have taken the swing but pulled it.
I think we covered it really well last week.
But, having that event occur and then moments later having Ryan still choose him over Homelander, over his actual biological father, this stranger who's literally met 5 minutes before.
Do you think Butcher made the right call sending her off with Mallory?
Sending
Ryan.
Yes.
Sorry, him off with Mallory.
Yes.
Sorry,
the CIA
sorry.
will use him, but not in the way that Vought will.
That's not the question that I actually wanted to ask. What do you want to ask? Because it was the right thing to do. Do we think Butcher gave Ryan to Mallory because he thought it was the right thing to do? Or because he just kind of wanted rid of the kid? That's what I meant to ask, sorry.
Well, he already had felt safe enough with the CIA looking after the three of them.
Yeah.
So he still knows that that's the safest option. There is also some, I'd say there's a good dose of, I don't want to have to look at you and be reminded.
That's...
Like, it's a little bit of you're Becca's son, but at the same time, you're being there kind of as responsible for her death.
At first that's what I thought it was, that he just
also,
wants...
Also, he knows, like, he said it himself.
That's what,
he's not good for a kid to be around.
That's what I at first thought. I thought
like,
it was
he's aware of that.
The first thing I thought was that it was, no, just get rid of the kid. I don't want to see him. He's killed my wife. But then I was like, no, he wouldn't have given him the St. Christopher's medal. So yeah, I think it is more of, no, he needs the CIA, we're going to take care of him, yeah. And he doesn't need my influence around. I think it is what he said to Becca of, no, I don't want to pass my shit onto the kid.
But he also, at the same time, you know, the fact that...
Oh yeah, no, that's...
There's also the whole,
that's always going to be
you
there.
look like your mother and I can't be around that. There's a bit of that going on there too, given the fact that we got to see his extremely strained familial relationships this season.
Yeah, his own messed up.
He very rightly has that fear, which a lot of people do have, of I'm going to grow up to be
my dad.
Yeah, or this way, or...
Oh yeah,
and he very much has the capacity.
That's a thing from the comics as well with Billy, is that's why him and Becca never have kids, because he's afraid that he'll be like his own dad.
And he's already seen how some of his influence has affected Huey.
Yeah.
And that's not... Well, it's backfired on him to a point as well, but it's also made him kind of look at himself in a different light. Yeah, no, there's definitely more growth from Butcher this season than there was from Homelander. And I think I said it in one of the earlier episodes. If they roll it back in season 3... It'll be disappointing. It will be very, very disappointing. But speaking of Butcher, one of the things I did think was funny this season was in the Sage Grove episode. A big part of that episode was kind of Butcher coming around to Annie. Yeah. He had always been painting every soup with the same brush and saying, "Oh, they're all." Well, he's already shot her. Yeah, he shot her. But he said that every soup is the same. He shot her in the chest with a 50 cal. Yeah, every soup is the same. They're all bastards. They all hurt people. And then in this episode, when Annie actually hurts an innocent person, he looks kind of proud of her. Yeah, he's like proud of her, and he's like, and they agree on a couple of other things as well. But I just following that, like that's the one thing. That's the turning point for him with her. But the one thing that he's always said that he doesn't like about soups is that, they don't care about the little person and they hurt the little person. And he hates Annie even though she's never done that. And then when she actually does that is when he turns. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little thing. I just thought it was kind of funny and not uncharacteristic or uncharacteristically hypocritical of Billy. But from that point on, they do kind of start to understand each other a bit more and see more eye to eye, especially after they're bonding in the hospital. In the hospital, talking about him slathering his bum with creamy dust. Yeah. Which is, I believe, is Sudocrem. It basically is Sudocrem, yeah. So now in my head, he smells like Sudocrem and that strawberry Garnier kids shampoo. Yeah. Which is not what I pictured him smelling like, especially in the Haitian Kings. And another little bit of growth that we saw from him was when he actually congratulates Annie and Huey for getting it's genuine and with enthusiasm. Yeah, it is genuine. And furthermore, he puts a hold on their suicide plan to allow Annie to try and go and talk to Queen Maeve. Yeah. And Annie does Billy's thing of, give me a few hours, I think I've got somebody, which is a Billy tactic. Yeah. And Billy goes, okay. He never would have done that before, he doesn't ask any questions, he just says, okay, off you go. Or he would have said, yeah, off you go do that, and gone his thing ahead with what he was doing anyway. Yeah. But he actually respects her the decision, and respects Huey's decision as well to do it, because in all fairness, Huey's done everything up to this point that has been successful. Yeah, and I think has been something Huey has spearheaded. From the get-go, he plants the bug. Well, the bug doesn't last very long, but he plants the bug in Vought headquarters in the first episode. Which lures Translucent. Which is what gets them Translucent. He's the one who kills Translucent. Yeah. He's the one who sets up the bug successfully in Popclaw's apartment. Yeah. Which helps them find out about A-Train and V. A-Train, V, the female, and Ezekiel. Yeah. He's the one who blackmails Ezekiel. Yeah. And then he's the one who rescues the boys. Yeah. At the start of the season, he's the one who's like, we don't need Butcher, and gets Violet V, helps Annie get to Violet V and helps get that out to the press. Yeah. And he's the one who it's A-Train who does the work, but he's the one who gets the file out to the press about Stormfront. Yeah. So yeah, Huey does all the work. The rest of the boys don't do much except for muscle and a bit of detective work. Frenchie's about the most useful one to them.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. Frenchie is good for like coming up with ideas when they're stuck in a corner, and MM is very much the detective that he was in the comics, because he's the one who really spearheads all the Liberty stuff.
Yeah, and Butcher's just dicking about.
Butcher just points them in the direction.
Butcher just butchers. Butcher's going to butcher.
But Huey's the one who does all the work. Yeah. And is probably going to do all the work for Newman.
Yeah, he's the Hermione of the show.
I'll have to take your word for it.
Harry Potter does nothing. Hermione saves them every single fucking time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
But the Butcher Annie thing I thought was funny.
Yeah. No, it was interesting to see their dynamic change as well, because even though she was okay with everything going on, she didn't really agree with a lot of their methods, and then her having the realization that parts of what Butcher's saying is right. His methods may not be, but his intention is.
Well, even she says to Huey in the car in the end of the last episode about how, well, Butcher's right, we've tried it the other way, and this is probably the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
But I think she definitely hasn't given up the fight. But I wonder, the fact that we saw her in her old costume at the end of the season, I wonder, will we see a bit of a return to more of the Annie of season 1 and more of the good and the hopeful and less of the grey murdery?
Yeah, well, there can only be room now for the good and the hopeful, because Stormfront generated so much hate and controversy that that's going to have a ripple effect now through it. The same way we're seeing in the US at the moment, that even though nobody's really paying attention to Trump anymore, there's still people spouting his ideology.
Yeah, his line.
That what Stormfront has started, that even though it's been revealed that she's a Nazi, there are still those that are going to continue with that and with her crusade. So I think that they're going to have a lot of... There's
gonna be people who are like, well, she was wrong to be a Nazi, but she still made some good points.
Yeah.
It's what about all the good things Hitler did?
Oh, social care? Yeah.
But...
that I think that her being in her old uniform and being this kind of good compass, moral guidance for people of trying to do good and put good out into the world as a counterpoint to this hate and xenophobia. And
I think Starlight will be the Seven's canary.
Yeah.
If Vought and the Seven go too far, and he's going to turn straight around back to the boys and say, well, we need to stop what they're doing.
Yeah.
So whereas Butcher actively knows that Huey is his canary,
yeah,
Annie is like the secret canary for the Seven.
Well, Maeve's not going to put up with any of the shit either. And
it'll be interesting to see what Maeve wants going forward.
Well, they've still got an empty seat, so
they still have 2 empty seats, don't they?
Are they going to bring back Soldier Boy? We've had rumours of Marathon Man. That would be fun, although they're not going to have 2 speedsters. But they might bring in somebody like Tech Knight.
I'd love if we got Tech Knight. We've gotten enough name drops.
Because Tech Knight is just a glorified... He's the Bruce Wayne character.
We're going to get...
penchant for buggering small animals.
We're getting Annie's ex-boyfriend in
season
3. He's Drummer Boy now. He's called Supersonic or something.
We're going to get Mary Magdalene as well.
I think it might be interesting if he's trying to get, as one of the people trying to get on the 7.
Yeah, I would like to see 7 auditions, because we saw a little bit of it.
Will we get 7 auditions as part of season 3, but proper ones?
And then we've been promised a Hero-gasm episode, which is just going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like episode 6 of season 3 is going to be Hero-gasm.
That's just going to be stupid.
It's going to be crazy. But I wonder what they have in store for us, because they're very good at flipping expectations and subverting expectations on the show.
But they've also got to lead up, because the whole cover story that they have for Hero-gasm is that it's some mad, world-ending event that all the superheroes have to go off and all the villains it's the massive team up. It's the cross-universe team up. Yeah, it's the Infinity War. It's the
Secret Wars. It's the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
It's all of that, and they go off and basically they have some island that's Vought owned, and it's just drugs and sex and debauchery and possible murder and maybe cannibalism. And I think anything fucking goes at this, so it'll be interesting to see what way they deal with this, and whether or not they just have this random party that's
is it the thing that happens every year from the comics, or is it
every 4 years? I think in the comics it's like the Olympics of insane.
I think it would be really cool, in line with their like subverting expectations, if something happened in the Herogasm episode that caused a big like crisis event.
Yeah, like are they going to do something like that with
if
it?
if instead of a crisis event being the cover for the superheroes to go off and have a big
does
fucking
Herogasm
orgy,
cause?
does Herogasm actually cause some big crisis event in the world of the boys?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past the show to do something like that, and I think it would be really cool.
I was going to say, did they puncture Captain Atom? But
yeah, but does something happen at Herogasm or through Herogasm that is potentially this big world-ending event that everybody has to band together to stop? Do they
inadvertently like set off a nuclear war or something like that?
Do they inadvertently set off Homelander and then everybody has to try and stop Homelander, boys and the rest of the seven? That might be a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But just something like that, I'm wondering. They definitely have something different in store for us other than just what we saw in the comics, because they always do.
No, all they can do is go up from here. I think it would be very, very difficult for them to fuck up any further storylines with the characters that they have developed. Yeah. Without having any sort of radical shift of behaviour from these characters, I don't think they could realistically drive this off a cliff.
Yeah, and I know they squeezed an awful lot into this season if we were to break down all the various things that happened.
There is a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. But even with that, I'm still wondering how they're going to fit in everything that they're promising in season 3.
Yeah, we're getting Lil Nina.
We're getting Little Nina.
And hopefully her exploding vibrator.
We're getting Soldier Boy and Payback and their history.
And Crimson Countess.
Yeah, she's part of it. We're going to be getting these other tertiary soups. We have Newman. Yeah. We have all the people from the seven. Like, there's a lot that's going to be in this season. I can't wait. No. Absolutely can't wait. But yeah, I'm really interested to see how it all folds out.
And then we've got all the little tasty nugs that are coming in in the form of Diabolical. Yeah. So whether or not they're going to use Diabolical to set up maybe some backstory for some of these tertiary characters, so that when they're introduced in the show, they don't have to waste time.
Yeah, so is it like
will there be like a little anthology of like maybe certain like soups from the 70s, like maybe like a little like backstory of them, so that if they're introduced...
Yeah, are they going to use it like Butcher a short story?
Yeah.
Where
it just fills in some holes for you.
Yeah, where it can fill in holes for season 3, or will they be more of a Marvel's What If related but unrelated to the show's canon?
Animatrix, which was literally just companion stories.
Yeah, well, they were companion stories, but still supposed to be in canon.
They were in canon, or, is it going to be like Gotham Knights?
Yeah, because they've just said it's going to be set in the world of the boys. So we don't know, again, is that in canon or not? I'm hoping
it's some sort of like Gotham Knights, Green Lantern, Green Knights, just anthology collection of like just random stories.
It's an anthology. Each episode is going to be set.
No, but separate. Those ones aren't so much like founding stories, wherever they're just random, like a day in the life of.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Diabolical, I definitely can't wait for season 3. I can't wait for just even a trailer. Every day I'm on Twitter and the fandom is just crying out for a season 3 teaser trailer. It's like, that's it. We don't even want to know a proper trailer. We just want like a release date and a couple of seconds of footage. Yeah. Just give us that. Please give us that. But yeah, I think that's everything that I loved, didn't love, and thought might change about season 2 and a few predictions for season 3. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I'm very pleasantly surprised by it. Having watched Preacher season 1 and then gone into Preacher season 2, and it was a very radical shift in tone. I was a little bit worried about that happening with the boys. But it was nice to see that they continued on in the opening of the first episode is just misery. So it really kind of dropped you right back into the whole, they are not having a good time.
Yeah, it was consistent.
Yeah.
The show stayed consistent, and I remember before season 2 came out, one of the things Kripke said was they weren't going bigger for season 2, they were going deeper. Yeah. I think they did that, and it looks like that's going to be the plan with season 3 as well, if we're going to get a lot of history and stuff.
Because the characters in and of themselves are interesting. They're dynamic, they have layers, they have these histories, they have all these issues that they're trotting around. They all have these interpersonal relationships with different members of different teams, because like Annie knows everybody from the Believe Expo because that was the arena she was operating in. Yeah. A-Train knows a lot of them from the kind of more like clean cut boys. Yeah. Sidekicks and that sort of thing like that. So they have these different areas that they're also operating in. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do with them.
Yeah, no, can't wait. Really, no idea how long we'll have to wait, but I cannot wait. But despite not having any more boys content to cover for a while, you will still be able to find us. We're going to start covering a couple of our favourite sci-fi movies and comedy movies, and just a few of our all-time favourite movies. But it will be under a different, slightly different banner. If you just search for Mono Rants at the Movies, you'll find us from next week onwards. Yes?
Yeah. I don't know what we're covering next week because we haven't
yet decided what movie we're covering.
Yeah, you said decide, I say fight. We haven't had that fight yet.
Yeah, we'll have decided and watched and recorded a whole new episode about an undecided movie currently.
Yeah.
But guys, in the meantime, if you want to drop us a line, you can follow us on Twitter at rantsmono. You can send us an email to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. And you can find all of our back catalogue now, the whole show covered, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And we will talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
We are Science Fiction Redmond.
This is the Funny Science Fiction Podcast.
We are the Caribbean Science Fiction Network.
We are Mono Rants.
We are One Accord Level 2 Podcast.
This is Sci-Fi.